With the newest episode of Hazbin Hotel came a lot of new plot reveals, mainly involving Rosie, Alastor, and Vox, so today we'll be focusing on Rosie. Now, Rosie is a really interesting character since in the pilot we've only had one proper shot of her, and we know that she's the only Hellborn overlord who's seen still alive. That alone has sparked a ton of fan theories about how she gained that kind of power as a Hellborn, and one of the most popular theories link her to a mysterious figure known as Rue in the Helliverse. So let's break this down and see why the Rosie's Rue theory might actually make a lot of sense. Now, if you don't know who Rue is, here's a quick rundown. Back in 2019, Pop revealed Rue's early design sketch. I'll pop it up on screen here. Also, Rue is short for Root of All Evil. You want to remember that for this video. Now, not much is known about her aside from the fact that she's meant to be a looming threat in Hazbin Hotel and possibly the main villain who will get revealed later on. Now, this Rosie is Rue theory gained a lot more credibility when Pop confirmed Rue's existence on October 29th after months of fans debating whether or not she would have been real. And in this post, she mentioned that Rue's first lines have already been recording, meaning that her debut isn't far away. So now that you know who Rue is, let's get into the theory. So the big reason why people think Rosie and Rue are connected comes down to their design. So let's start with the obvious, the hat. Rosie's hat has that vintage look with skulls on it, and Rue's early concept art shows something very similar, although without the skulls. Even the way it tilts slightly to one side matches Pop's old sketches of Rosie. Now next is their colour palette. Both characters share this like washed out grey skin tone in a way with deep red and black accents. It's like they're deliberately designed to feel connected in a way. But the most interesting thing to me is the eye symbolism. Now, if you've been in Hazbin Hotel for a little bit, you know all the eyes around the Helliverse are linked to Rue in some way, or theorized to be. Now, every cannibal we've seen in the Hazbin Hotel has blank eyes or missing eyes, Rosie included. In contrast, the Root of All Evil ritual that we see in Helliverse features wooden eyes scattered all across the forest. It almost feels like a trade-off in a way, like the cannibals gave up their own eyes and Rue sees through them. And this might not be accidental, as Rosie's shop, Rosie's Emporium, is full of eye-like symbols. Even the abbreviation RE for Rosie's Emporium links to Rue, as RE could stand for Root of Evil. Now, it could be a coincidence, but in a show like Hazbin Hotel, it's worth noting. So visually, they line up a little too well. You know, they have similar clothes, similar skin tones, similar colour motif, and the same obsession with eye symbolism. And that's just at the surface, because if you start looking at what Alastor does before meeting Rosie, things get way more interesting. Now, Alastor has always been tied to imagery. His old radio symbols making up his mouth, his pentagrams, his voodoo, whether that's for better or for worse is up to debate. In season 2, that connection is even clearer when he's summoning Rosie. When you see the parallels to Martha's ritual in the first episode of Helliverse, and the imagery lines up almost perfectly. Both scenes feature wooden symbols, wooden eyes, and offerings. Martha being the imps and Alastor being human dead bodies. And both were done by cannibals, as Martha's a cannibal and Alastor's a cannibal. And Martha literally says, "May the root of evil remain honoured as we continue thy work." So what's the link here? Both Martha and Alastor practice ritual cannibalism, both are offering sacrifices, and both are apparently reaching out to a higher unseen entity. So what if this entity isn't some generic demon like Rosie, but the root of all evil herself? Now some might say, but Martha fails and Alastor succeeds with summoning Rosie. Granted, as soon as the ritual starts, Rosie literally says that Alastor's soul is unlike anything she's ever seen before. What if Alastor's soul was just more powerful unlike Martha's, so Rosie could reach out to Alastor? If Rosie really is connected to Rue, then it's possible that Alastor unknowingly has Rue's power or gained power through Rue. So if Rosie really was acting as Rue's vessel or Rue herself, that would explain a lot about Alastor's power. I mean, where else could Alastor be getting it from? Where else could a Hellborn grant that much power that's more powerful than hers? Not to mention that Rue doesn't just mean evil, it means origin, not destruction, not chaos, but creation itself. If Rue really is the root of all the evil, that could explain the source of demonic life like Hellborn. That would also explain why Rosie stands out from every other Overlord we've met. She's not just a sinner, she's Hellborn. Maybe she isn't just any Hellborn, but she's the Hellborn. Rosie could actually be a fragment of Rue's essence given form, a way she can interact with Hell. And you might be wondering, where does Charlie in the hotel come into this, and why does Rue want Alastor in the hotel? Well, if Rosie really is connected to Rue, then her behaviour suddenly makes a lot more sense, as Rosie encourages Alastor to join the hotel and earn Charlie's trust. But why wouldn't Overlord care about redemption? Because the Hazbin Hotel is the only place in Hell where it's actively trying to get a path into heaven. And if Rue is the root of all evil and being locked away or cut off from higher planes like heaven, then getting into heaven could be exactly what she's been waiting for. Just think about it, who else but Rue would want to see heaven's gates open? Just to use her being the root of all evil to corrupt it from the inside. Rosie sending Alastor there could unlock a much bigger piece of the plan, using him as a key to unlock pathways or at least weaken the boundary between heaven and hell. Now you might be thinking, but Alastor isn't going to get redeemed. Well, in episode 8, we see Charlie and Vaggie get into heaven through a portal. So what if one day Charlie takes Alastor up with her for another meeting and Rosie comes as well to prove redemption is possible? As Charlie trusts Rosie, so Rosie's friendliness towards Charlie might not be kindness at all, it could just be manipulation. So yeah, honestly, that's the entire theory. I really like it. So thanks to VCherry for making this on Twitter. Make sure to go follow them. So Rosie and Rue might not be the same person, but the signs are definitely point to them being connected in some way, whether Rosie's a vessel or Rue herself, or even just influenced by Rue's power. There's clearly something bigger going on behind the scenes. And with VivziePop confirming that Rue's lines has already been recorded, it's only another season away before we finally see her appear. What do you guys think? Is Rosie just another overlord? Or is she literally carrying the root of evil inside of her? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as when the next few episodes drop, I will be covering them.